After a few weeks, they went public and said they concluded I was not a journalist. I was an international terrorist. Well, I've been covering wars since I was 20. I started in 1984. When the massacre of the Jashari family happened, I didn't know anything about the war in Kosovo. But I have been in Bosnia, so I knew. My logic was that if the UÇK is fighting if they're fighting against the Serbs, they must be the good guys. So I started to make contact with the UÇK, and finally the people in Norway, they sent me first to Macedonia and then to Albania, and I joined a unit of UÇK going into Kosovo.
So when did you come here first? Which unit did you join?
It was just young guys coming from Europe. They were going over Pastrik, smuggling weapons and going inside to fight. That was in June 1998. I had to go with the regular groups going inside from Shqipnia. But I was very unlucky because in Pastrik we fell into an ambush. I was wounded with a hand grenade, a Serbian hand grenade. Several fighters were killed and even more wounded. I was actually left in the ambush, so I had to drag myself into the forest with my bag, with camera and gear. I linked up with the UÇK down in the forest, and they took my bag and helped me down the mountain. But after a while, the guy who was carrying the rucksack, he couldn't manage it anymore, so he ditched it. It fell into the hands of the Serbs later on.
What fell into the hands of the Serbs? Your camera?
My camera, my documents, everything I had was in the rucksack. So the Serbs, they presented it first in Pristina and then in Belgrade. Anyway, the Serbs, after a few weeks, they went public and said they concluded I was not a journalist. I was an international terrorist.
International terrorist. They named you and they called you that with a name?
Yeah, yes.
Can we find footage, do you think, of that press conference?
I'm sure you can find it, because the doctors in the military hospital, the UÇK military hospital, they came, when they came from Pristina, they were laughing and saying that, the Serbs said you are an international terrorist, and they started calling me Carlos, like Carlos the Jackal. So, but anyway, going back to Pastrik, it took, I lost everything, and, I had my arm was broken, and, I couldn't feel anything, and my leg was filled with shrapnel. So, they, at the end, they had to drag me down the mountain, and we reached a hospital after, let's say, 24 hours. It was someplace close to Malasheva, you know how it was.
So you were dragged from Pastrik to Malasheva, quite a journey.
No, not dragged all the way. But
you were put in a car, probably.
Yes, I wasn't that bad wounded. I was treated by Naim Bardici, you know him?
Of course, he's the Secretary of Ministry of Health.
He was treating me when I was there wounded. He came with the same group.
Is he in the photos you have done?
No,
he's not.
Unfortunately not.
Yes.
But he's, I try to meet him every time here.
That's why I was surprised now, because I've looked at your photos. There's a lot of doctors there, carers, patients, but I haven't seen Bardici.
No, he was sent to another area of Drenica.